Hello, my name is Anna and I'm here to talk about human resources management. People management has been playing an increasingly important role in the organizations. People are being seen as the main asset or even the most important capital of the organizations and no longer a mere resource or a cost. So if you are thinking to create your own business or create your own team, there are some practices that you should probably consider to implement in your company to manage your people. For instance, analysis and description of functions. This is one of the basic practices as it provides inputs for your other HR practices. It will help you to define the profile for each function in the company and provide information, for instance, recruitment and selection, the candidate's profile and inputs for the selection tests, training programs, occupational health and safety, and key information for performance evaluation. Recruitment and selection. This practice will help you to fill positions within the organization with the most qualified people for the job. Due to the uncertainty of the world today, we begin to argue that companies should look for the right person to the uncertain place. What might justify the relevance that soft skills are assuming comparing to the hard skills, also known as the technical skills. Reception and integration is also a critical practice. It facilitates the individual integration process in the role, in the team, and should provide positive experiences so newcomers achieve the desired performance in a shorter time. You can introduce to the newcomers the company history and culture, including the mission, the vision and the values or principles, and the organizational structure. It is a critical process because it can determine the employee's desire to stay or to leave, so it is highly recommended that they identify themselves with the values, the mission, and the vision defined for your company. The performance evaluation, as defined by Chiavinato, that consists in a systematic assessment of each person's performance in the job and their potential for future development. It's also a very relevant practice. The individual objectives should stem directly from the department objectives and those from the organization objectives. Each objective should be SMART, which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This practice allows the companies to overcome the average performance, helps people and support them for the change of behaviors in the path of excellence, and also helps the company to improve the internal communication process, for instance, through activities like the evaluation interviews. Training and development is also a critical practice. Training because helps new and current employees to develop their competencies to perform their current jobs. Then development because helps the employees to develop the competencies required for future job positions in line with the organization's strategy and needs. Reward systems that consists in a set of principles and guidelines that companies define regarding its employees in return for their work is also relevant. Rewards can be material or immaterial, extrinsic and intrinsic. Don't forget that people are very aware of the other rewards in the market. So you should ensure internal equity, allowing individualization of wages through the use of individual merit factors, and your system also allow you to compete in the labor market, taking into account the external equity. Last but not least, organizational legal obligations. Every company should attempt to health and safety, so provide medical services and safety conditions and equipments. Working conditions, the company should provide all the required conditions and equipment to employees perform the jobs. Training, Some countries have a minimum of number of training hours per year that employees should attend, and salaries, taxes, and social security. The organizations should respect the legislation which applies to it. Social responsibility begins with the respect for its employees. So I finish my this video with the quote from Zig Ziglar that said that you don't build a business, you develop people, and people will develop your business. Thank you.